All right, I found a Sudoku that I thought looked interesting. I'm going to try and solve it here. Hopefully I will be successful and you guys will see this video. This is called Triple Threat. Let me pull it up in F Puzzles here. All right, Triple Threat by Xoned and Qinlux, I think is how you pronounce their names. They're both pretty active on the Discord server, the Cracking the Crypt Discord server, and they posted this puzzle on there that they created together. And it looks pretty interesting. Some real long arrows with some two-digit totals. So I assume triple threat is because we've got three arrows here all kind of sharing the same boxes. So the interactions of those three is what I assume is going to be important. But there's just rules today is just standard arrow rules. Digits along the arrow have to sum to the total in the circle or the pill shape. These two cell ones are a two-digit number read left to right. So if this was 2 and 3, the total would be 23. And that's it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to try this puzzle. And now I'm going to see what I can do. So I'm going to look. I know this isn't going to be super helpful, but I'm going to put this in here. So a 3-cell arrow, if the 3 digits on the arrow have to be different, which they do if they're in the same box here, is a minimum of 6. Now this one over here is a 3-cell arrow, but you could have a repeat. You know, this could be 2 and 2 with, well, it can't be 1, but and we're going to turn off our highlight conflict. Okay, so this one can have a repeat digit, so this isn't the same. This could be smaller. It's still somewhat limited because we have a 1 in the box already, but this could be a 1. This could be 2, 3. Well, yeah, the minimum these can be is 2 and 3 because of the 1, and this is obviously a minimum of 1. So this is still a minimum of 6. I'll write that in there. Now down here we've got a bigger restriction because these 3 are a minimum of 6. Again, same deal as up here. But then we also have this one, which is a minimum of 2, because we already have a 1 in the column. So if these are a minimum of 6, this is a minimum of 2, this is at least 8. So that one's only 8 or 9. Which means we can restrict these quite a bit too, because this is at least 2, which means these can't be more than 7. So these are minimum of 6, maximum of 7, these 3 together. So they're going to have a 1 and a 2, and then either a 3 or a 4, because 6 and 3 is 1, 2, and 3, 7 and 3 is 1, 2, and 4, and this one can't be a 2. So one of these is a 2. Oh, so now this can't be a 2. This is a minimum of 3, because the 2 has to be in here. Because if you didn't have a 2 in this arrow, we've got a 2 over here. If you didn't have a 2 in this arrow, it would be a minimum of 1, 3, and 4, which would be 8. You'd have to have 1 here so you didn't go above 9. So this is a minimum of 3, which now means these have to be 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to get rid of those. There we go. And this has to be a 3. That makes this a 9. So these can't be 3, and this is a 3. All right, we've got a couple digits already. So now that this one can't be a 9, that tells us there has to be a 1 in here. To make 6, 7, or 8, and 3, you need a 1. You can do, like we said, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 7 is 1, 2, 4. 8 can be 1, 2, 5, or 1, 3, 4. If you didn't have a 1, 2, 3, 4 is the smallest you could do, which is 9. So there's definitely a 1 in there. That's not really going to do much for us, though, is it? All right, I don't think I can do anything else over here. This long arrow over here is really long, but I feel like there's a lot of repeated digits you could do. So, I mean, these are a minimum of 1, 3, and 4 because of the 2 here. But then you could have a 2 there, and these could be 1 and 2, and yeah, I mean, you've got, it could be really small. Small enough that this could be a 1, because it could actually be smaller than, well, this is 8, and, well, this, I guess these have to be 1, 2, and 3 as a minimum. Not necessarily in that order, but you'd have 8 and 6 is 14, and 2 is 16. Yeah, I feel like it could be, well, I can't, oh, I'm trying to see if this could be a like a teen number, a number in the teens, but we've got a 1 right here and a 2 down here, so this is at least 3. Okay, maybe I need to look at what the maximum it could be is instead. So, well, you could have 9, 8, and 7. I think you could, yeah, you could have 9, 8, and 7 again. As long as these two were the same as those two, and this one was there, that works. So that's 48, and this could be as big as 9, I think. So that's, these 6 are 48 plus 9 is 57. So this is 3, 4, or 5. That's somewhat limited, I guess. And this one could be almost anything. I mean, it can't be a 1, but otherwise it could be 2 through 9. Because if this is a 5, I think we said 57 was the maximum. But if it's a 3 or a 4, this could be as much as 9. So, okay, let's look at these other arrows over here. What's the smallest they could be? Oh, this could be 1, 2. That one can't be 1 because of there. These could be 1 and 2, and this could be a 1. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this could be, I mean, as small as you want it to be. Are any of these other ones, let's see. This middle one might be more restricted because you've got 3 through here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and then you could have 1 and 1. So that's 8. You're still, so they can be really small. All right, what's the maximum maybe? This could be 9, 9, 8, 9, 9, I think. So that's 36 plus 8 is 44. So the maximum this one could be is 44. What about this one? This would be 9, 8, and 7 in the middle, which is 24, plus 2 9s is another 18. That's 42. 9, 8, 9. I think this one's going to be smaller actually than that first one. So 9, 9 and 8, 8, 8. Yeah, so this was 2 9s and 3 8s, which is even smaller than that one. So none of these can be bigger than, okay, I see. I see what we're doing. So the maximum these can be is in the 40s. I think it was 44, 42, and this one was maybe, I don't know, 41 or 42. Smaller than that. So none of these can be 50 or larger, which means these 3 have to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. But we already have a 3. So they have to be 1, 2, and 4. This one can't be the 1. But they have to be 1, 2, and 4. That's not a 1 now. Which means several things. It means these can't be a 1, 2, or a 4 over here, the second digit. And so, okay, cool. I like the way this works. I think I'm seeing where it's going to go. So we said this one was a maximum of 44, right? But it can't be 44 because you'd have a repeated digit, of course. But if it's a maximum of 44, let's assume it's in the 40s. What could it be? 42? No, we have a 2 already. You can't have a 2. 41? No. So it would have to be 43 if it's going to be the 4. But one of these, okay, so one of these has to be 40 something. And none of them could be bigger than 44. So one of them has to be 43. And I think this one was a maximum of 42, right? We said 9, 8, and 7. That's 24 plus 9 is 33 plus 9 is 42. Yeah, so this one can't be the 4. Can this one be big enough? So we have 9, 9 and 8. This one can only be, these two can only be 8s here. So we've got 3 8s and 2 9s. That's 18 plus 24 is 42. Right, and you can't do 41 or 42, so this can't be a 4. So this one has to be the 4. It has to be 43. And I think 44 was our maximum. So I'm going to put in the maximum here. 9 and 8 and 9 and 9. That is, let me make sure I did the math right. That's 4 9s. That's 36 plus 8 is 44. So we've got 1 degree of freedom. One of these has to be 1 less, essentially. But this 9 right here can't be 1 less. Or it would be an 8. And then this one couldn't be an 8. And it can't be the 9 because of this 9. So if this was 8, this would have to be 7, which would essentially be using up 2 degrees of freedom. So this must be a 9. This one could be a 7 or an 8. This could be an 8 or a 9. This could be an 8 or a 9. And this could be, okay, so the other ones have 1 degree of freedom still. But that one has to be a 9. This can't be a 9 because of that 9. And that also tells us that these are not the same digit. Because if one of these is an 8, that uses up our 1 degree of freedom, and the other one would have to be a 9. So these two are going to be different digits, which means these cannot be an 8 or a 9 now. So this is, but these are smaller. These are pretty small now anyways. These are a teen and a 20, so we're not going to be quite as limited the same way over here. We're not going to have to use the maximums, I don't think. So let's see, what else can we do now? Oh, now we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in this column. So this is a minimum of 5. And the most we can have, so 6 is 1, 2, 3, 7 is 1, 2, 4, 8 is 1, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 5. So the biggest number we can put on this arrow is a 5. That is at least a 5, so it must be a 5, which means this is an 8, and these are 1 and 2. And now we've got 1, 2 pairs in both of these columns, which now we have 1, 2, and 3. So these are at least 4 over here, but they can't be 4. So they're at least 5. So those are... There's still several options, but we're going to be a little bit limited over here. We can't do like a 24, 23, or, now what do we do? Oh, this 3, 4 over here tells us this is a 50. Okay, so now these need to be big, because I think our maximum we could do is 57. So we're going to be somewhat limited on what we can put in here. This 8 right here. Okay, before we do that long arrow, I just noticed this 8 affects that. That's a 9. Now, oh, and you know what? I was right, but I misspoke earlier. I said these two had to be different. That's not true. If one of them is an 8, they have to be different. They could both be 9s. I was about to say this is an 8, but that's not true. This could still be a 9. It's just that if one of them is an 8, the other one had to be a 9. So we still have our 1 degree of freedom here. Don't think... Can we do anything with this one before I start looking at the big one? 6... Well, this has to have a... Oh. No, it doesn't have to have a 1. I wanted to say this has to have a 1 on it because 6, 7, and 8, and 3 have to have a 1. But that's not true when you can have a repeated digit. Well, is that true? 2, 2, 3. Yeah, that is true. Because you could do 2, 2, and 3, for example, which would be 7. or 3, 3, 2, which would be 8. Because we can't actually do 2, 2. Yeah, we can. No, we can't. We can't repeat a 2 or a 1. Well, we can't have a repeated 1 because of this one, but we can't repeat a 2. Because if we have 2s in both of those, that would put a 2 up here, but we've already got the 2 in that box. Oh, this one can't be a 9, by the way. So we can't repeat a 2. So we could do 3s with a 2. If we don't do that, then we can't repeat, because these can't repeat, and these can't repeat, obviously. So this is the only place we can repeat a digit. We can't repeat a 1 or a 2. So if we do 3, 3, 2, that would be 8. Otherwise, there has to be a 1, which the 1 would have to be over here. So this is a 1 or a 3. And here we could have 2, 3, 2, 4. I mean, we could go all the way up to as high as 2, 5 with the 1. Because that would be 8. I don't know. This could be a 2 with the 5. This could be a 3. So these are, I don't think we can get up to a 6 though. Because for us to put a 6 in here and still have 8, we'd have to have 2 1s, and we can't do 2 1s. But that's still quite a few options. Okay. Let's look at the big one over here. This could be a 2. Otherwise, it has to be at least a 6. So let's see what we can do for our maximums. So we can do 8 and 9 in here, if it was that way. Actually, I think I need to look at it by the rows more so than, because the problem is we could say something like, oh, we can put 7, 8, and 9 in here, but does that work? Because no. Okay, we do need to look at it by the columns. Yes, okay, I'm going to get rid of those. Because look, if we say we can put 7, 8, 9 in here, and 8, 9 down here, and 8, 9 up here, that sounds great, right? But you can't put a 9 on this arrow in column 2 because of the 9s down here. So these are actually 6, 7, and 8 for maximums. And if you can't put a 9 on any of those, you can't put 3 9s on this arrow. Because you could put one up here and one of them over here, but not 2. So you can't actually have 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9 like you might normally think. So 6, these could be 7, 8, and 9, I think. This one can't be 8. But you could have, that would put an 8 in here, so you wouldn't be able to have an 8 there. Ah! Well, no, that might still work. Actually, if we do that, these are 8s. This would have to be a 9. So this would have to be the 9 then. So I'm just trying to think of, you know, the maximums we can do, basically. So we can't actually put a 9. Can we? Let me go back. That's assuming we're trying to put 7, 8, and 9 across here. But what if we did 6, 8, 9? No, because it's the 8 that's the problem. 6, 7, 9 is 13, is 22. 7, 8, and 9 is 24. So yeah, we're going to want it to be 7, 8, and 9, which means this is a 9. This is now a 6. That's okay. This would be 7 and 8. I think that works. And this one could also not be a 9 then. Because putting the 7, 8 here makes this a 9. So this would have to be an 8. That would be a 7. Is that going to be our maximum possibility? I feel like it is. Let's add that up and then I'll think about it some more. So 15 and 15 over here is 30. You've got 15 there, that's 45, and 8 is 53. So if this is the maximum we can do, yeah, I think it is. Even if I could eke out one more digit, I don't think we're going to be able to get 3 more anywhere to get to 56. Because we've got 7, 8, and 9. We've got 6, 7, 8. I mean, the only place I can see getting a bigger number is if we could make this a 9 somehow, but we're going to lose a digit somewhere. So 53 is the maximum. So this has to be 52. And now, again, we've got 1 degree of freedom, just like before. Okay, so this one can't be, can we do... I'm trying to make sure. I want to say this can't be lower than 8, because then this would have to be lower, but this one being a 9 affects all 3 of those. That's why I'm trying to see if I can somehow make this... If I somehow make this 8 and 9... Well, it can't be 8 and 9. It would have to be 7 and 9. Because this isn't 8 or a 9. So if this isn't 9, it's 8. So if these were 7, 9... But yeah, then this is going to have to be a 6 because of the 8 here. There's just no way. Then we're losing way too many degrees of freedom. So yeah, this has to be 8. This, again, this in this column, if we reduce the 8 or the 7, then that affects... If I make this a 7, now this has to be a 6, and we've lost 2 degrees of freedom. If I make this a 6, this can't go up, so it has to go down, and we've lost 2 degrees of freedom. So this has to be a 7. This has to be an 8. This can't go down 1, because it would have to be an 8. The 8 in here, the 7 can't go down, so these have to be 7 and 8. Now this 6, could it be... But something has to lose a degree of freedom somewhere. Doesn't it? Because this can't be a 5 because of that. But I can't put a 6 in here and, a 7 and an 8 because now I've got 53. Okay, so where did I go wrong here? This... Ah! What if... okay. So these are 7 and 8. This one's 8. This could actually be a 7, and this could be an 8. We could flip-flop those. And then this could be a 7. Because I don't see how we can reduce anything else by only 1 degree of freedom, other than that one going down to a 7. We can't... If we move, the 6, 7 over here and make that the 8, then these are now 7 and 6, which is too small. The 6 has got to be here. This has got to be a 9. Because we can't make this the 7 and put the 8 and the 9 in the middle here, because that breaks that. This has to be the 7 and 8, which makes this a 9. This is a 6. And now these have to be 1, 7, and 1 is 8. But these have to be 8 and 7. And it needs to be 2 7s and an 8. Because we've got 15 plus 15 is 30. If we do 2 8s, that's 16. That's 46. Plus 7 is 53. So these need to be 2 7s and an 8. So these two have to be the 7s. And this one has to be the 8. I think that's for sure. I think. All right, we've got three nines here. We can still put 9, 7, or 8, 8 in here to get to our 43. Wow. Okay. I don't know how xoned and Qinlux. I don't know how you guys came up with this. I'm guessing you started with the three arrow thing over here and then somehow added this in. I'm not sure, but that that was complicated to think about. Maybe there's a better way to think about it too. If you have a smarter way to figure that out, let me know. Because I definitely didn't feel very smart figuring that out. All right. So now where do we look though? Because I feel like so I've done everything I can with. Oh, now that this can't be an 8, okay. This can't be 5 anymore. So could still do 4 and 2 with the 1. Can this be a 3? If this was a 3, we would have 2 and 3, and that's 8. So this can't be 3. This is a 1, which is going to give us our 2 and our 1 over here. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now that this is a 1, these need to be 5 or 6 to be 1 less. So that could be 2, 3, or 2, 4. They can't be 3, 4. So 2, 3, or 2, 4. It's got to have a 2 in it. So that's going to do that. Let's see. We've got 2s and 1s. Can we... 2s. There's a 2 over here. Ah, 2 in this box. Can't be in any of those. So it's got to be right there. It's going to put a 2 over here, but we already know there's a 2 there. There's a 2 there. 2. There's a 2 up here. Yeah. Don't think we can quite get the 2s. What about 1s? Can we do anything else with the 1s? We don't really have 1s down here. We know some. So there can't be a 1 in here or here. Oh, so there's a 1 here, which puts a 1 right there because we got the 7, 8 pair. So these are 3, 4, and 6. This can't be a 3. Ah, 9. We got 9s here. This is a 9. That puts a 9 up there and gives us the 8. And now that this is an 8, we've used up our 1 degree of freedom. So this one also has to be an 8. Which means we're going to have an 8 up there. This 8 gives us the 7, 8 pair there. These 8s put an 8 right over here. Which means there's an 8 down here and an 8 down here. Is that all the 8s? Yes. Okay. Let's see. What about the 9s? Do we have all the 9s? I should probably just do some normal Sudoku, huh? 9s here and here. Put a 9 right there. 9 down here. So we've got all the 9s and all the 8s. Can we get the 7s? Oh, there's not a 7 or a 9 or an 8 here. So there's a 7 in one of these. Ah, 7 in one of these, which means this is a 6. And that's a 3. This is no longer a 6. This is a 5, 7 pair, which makes that the 6. So now this arrow has to be 16. This has to have a 4, which is going to give us the 6 down there. And 3 and 6. Which leaves 7 in the row. This is 4 and 5. Can't figure those out yet. This puzzle isn't progressing at all the way I expected to. It's very surprising. Where to look when? Like I would not have guessed that I'd have, this whole row up here already. That before I even really know I don't even know what this arrow total is yet. It's 25 or 27, and I still don't know. I still don't know which the 1 and the 2 on the 8 arrow here. Okay, let's see. Is there more regular Sudoku I can do? Let's take advantage of that before I have to look at the arrows. What's in here? 2, 3, 4, and 7. So this is 3 or 4. This is 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah. That's not super helpful. I'm gonna put those in there. 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. So there's a 2 here. But the rest we don't really know. What about right here? 1, 2, 3, 6 and 7. Don't know which ones are which. Uh, 6 down here. Oh, what's right here? 1, 2, 4, and 5. We got 4 and 5s up here and down here, but they don't really seem to connect much. But this 4, 5 on this arrow is maybe gonna help us potentially. There's a 3 right here. But what about over here? 1, 3, 4, 5. These are 3, 4, and 5s. Yeah. Too many options. 3, 4, and 5 there. Okay. So let's look at the 16. It's the smaller one. And we've already got a 5 or a 7 in here and a 3, 4 in here. So those are somewhat limited. So let's think about the minimum. So the 5 and the 3, that's 8. So we have 8 minimum in these. This one, this could be it's either a 1 or it has to be as big as a 4 because of the 2, 3. But this could be a 2 or a 4 because we've got a 1 and a 3 already. So this could still be 1, 2, and 3. That's 6 plus 5 is 11. This can be as small as 3. So that's 14. So we have 2 degrees of freedom. Yes, so 2 degrees of freedom. Our minimums are 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, which is 6 and 8 is 14. So we've only got 2 degrees of freedom to get to our 16. So this could be, but this one right here, if we put a 4 in there, we've used up 3 degrees of freedom going from 1 to 4. So that doesn't work. So this has to be a 1, which gives us the 1 and the 2 over here, and the 1 and the 2 down here. Okay. And so now we can get the 1 down here, which is also going to give us the 1 in box 7. So I think that's all the 1s. Yep. Now this is 3, 4, and 5 to complete the box, but there's already a 3, and now we have a 4, 5 pair. This has to be the 3. Okay. So we're getting some digits along here. This can't be a 3 anymore. So we've got 4, so we need 12 more out of these. We could do 2, 3, and 7. If it's a 5, so if it's a 7, it's got to be 2 and 3. If it's a 5, then we need 7, which would be 3 and 4. So this is either 2, 3, or 3, 4. I think this has to be a 3 either way. If this is a 4, that would be 8. We would need 8 up here, and you can't make 8 with those kinds. So this is a 3 no matter what, which means this is a 3. So now we've got 7. We need 9 more, which could be 7, 2, or 5, 4. So we've got a couple of options there. Maybe we can figure it out from this digit over here. So we've got the 3. This is 4 or 5 in this cell. This is a minimum of 4, because we've already got the 1, 2, and 3. So the smallest we can do is 3, 2, 4, 4, 4. So that's 8, and 9 is 17. So we've got quite a bit of flexibility there. What's the biggest we can do, actually? 7 and 5. And 3, that's 12, and that's 15. So we need 10 or 12 more. And this is maximum 7 and 5. Oh, so we can get to 12. 5, 7, 5, 7. So that would be 27. This would have to be 7. But this could also be 6. So if this was a 5, this could be 7, 5, 6, 4. Or this could even be a 5, and you could do 5, 5. But I don't think this can be a 2, right? Can that be a 2? Oh, maybe it can. Because we were doing the maximums. No, it can't, right? If this is a 2, and we do the maximums everywhere else, so that's 2, 3, it's 5, 10, it's 15, and 7 is only 22. So this can't be a 2. Which puts a 2 there. This is now 4, 7. This has to be a 2. And I think we have all the 2s now. Yeah, we have all the 2s. Has to be a 6 in one of those. 4. This could be a 4 though, right? 4, 5. That's 9, and 3 is 12. And no, if we do a 4 there with a 5, that's 9 plus 3 is 12. Maximums down here are 7 and 5, which is another 12. So that's only 24. So this has to be a 7. So now we've got 10, and so the rest has to be either 15 or 17. And so again, if we put a 4 here, the most we could get would be 14, 24. So this can't be 4. It could be a 5. If all 3 of those were 5, can those all be 5s? I think so. That would be 25 then. I think those could all be 5s. Maximum of 13. 4 is 17. Yeah. I think those all still work. All right, let's look up here. Maybe we can do some normal Sudoku. These are 4, 5, and 6. Oh, and the 6 can't be in either of those. So this is a 6. So this can't be 6. So these are 4, 5, and 7 in the column. This is 4 and 5. See, yep, you got your seemingly deadly pattern again that's going to be disambiguated by the arrow. Perfect. All right, so another 4, 5 here. This is, oh, the 4, 5 pair, which means this is a 3. This is 6 or 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Yeah, 6 or 7. We've got a 6. So this is the 7, 6, 7. This 7 is gonna give us our arrow total then. There we go. So, oh, well, we already knew that. Hold on. If I was paying attention. All right. These right here are 9, and this is 16, so we already knew that was a 7. All right. Bad job. Well, that was still some fun logic figuring that out in there. Even if it was the slow way, it was fun. These are 5 and 6. But, so we now know this is 25. These are 10, so these need to be 15. So, it could still be 744 or 555, couldn't it? I think so. So what's here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6. So that gives us 5 and 6. This can't be 5. Okay, and then this this 5 is gonna fix the rest of the 4 5s, everything that we've got through there. So 4, 7, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, and then this one we've got 10, and 10 is 20. This needs to be 5, 5, and 4. And our timer turns green. Perfect. All right. So that was Triple Threat by Xoned and Qinlux. Great puzzle. That was really fun. It was interesting. I kind of felt like for a lot of the puzzle, I didn't really know. It was weird. It was like I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but I always had something to do. kind of a weird paradox there. I never felt like, oh, now I've got it figured out. We'll just finish it off. Um, I guess if I'd noticed the 7, I might have felt like that towards the end. But the whole time it felt like, I hope this is right. Maybe. Like I was just kind of trying things, but I always kind of felt like, oh, this I can try this. I can try this. It was never just stumped with nothing to do. So that was kind of a cool dichotomy there of not knowing what I was doing, but always kind of knowing what to do next, I guess. Um, so if you guys tried it, let me know what you thought. If you did it faster or if you saw some logic that I missed, especially over here, that felt a little clumsy trying to figure out this long arrow. Maybe there's a better way, but otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed that puzzle, and I'll see you again soon.